Hi, today I will be giving my persuasive speech for Communications Class 101, and this is my audience. Today I will be talking about gun control and why I believe it is wrong and how it could affect our nation greatly. Now, throughout our nation's history, people have had the right to keep arms, or guns as people know them, at home. But this right has come to threat as many government high officials have tried to take away guns or have tried to put strict laws on gun owners. Now, today I will be telling you how it is our right and how it affects us, how it affects our other rights if they do manage to take away our guns, how we can use guns for good and not bad, and how our nation would be affected if guns were taken away. So to begin, I will explain how it is our right to keep arms with us. Now, according to the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, this means that the government cannot take our weapons away. Now, we should be scared if they do manage to come up with a law to take it away, because this means that they could also take away our other rights. The rights that are in the Bill of Rights, like our freedom of speech or our freedom of religion. Now, if that does happen, then that means that this country is becoming communist, or is leading that way. And that was against everything that this nation was founded on. The pilgrims and all those people ran away from places where they weren't allowed to keep arms or stand up against the government. Now, I will go on to tell you how keeping our guns could keep us safe and how we could use them in good ways. According to the Heritage Foundation website, more than 500,000 to 3 million Americans use guns for self-defense. Now, as you can see in these charts, they show how the difference between the people who use the guns for self-defense and the people who use them for crimes. Now, right here you can see that the people who use guns for self-defense is way higher than the people who have used guns for murders. Right here is kind of more specific, where it shows that 81% people use the guns for self-defense compared to the 19% who use them for violent crimes. Now, I'm going to tell you an example of one time where a person used a gun for self-defense and to protect others around me. An incident in October 16 in the Pulaski County, Missouri, showed that we could use guns for self-defense. A police officer has stopped a person, and the person pulled out a knife on the cop, and the cop didn't have enough time to react. Now, this person got to manage to drop the cop and was about to stab him, when a citizen approached and at gunpoint managed to take away the person from the top of the cop. Now, the cop survived because of that person, and he only suffered minor injuries like some cuts and bruises. Now, if it weren't because this guy had a gun, the cop probably would have been dead. Now, according to the Constitution Center, where they interpreted the Second Amendment, they state that the people are allowed to keep guns for a militia to help the nation. Now, this means that in case of an invasion or an attack by another nation, a militia can come up and fight against those people. They could use their guns to help the army and not have to wait until the army comes to them. They could protect their families and protect the nation. Now, that I have told you how we can use our guns for good, I will go on to tell you how, if they do manage to take away our guns, it will affect our nation. According to a website called Query, they state that if the government does manage to take away our guns, our nation will go into civil war and an economic breakdown. It will go into a civil war because the country is divided on whether they want guns to be legal or not. And the people who do want guns to be legal will fight the government because they will be trying to take it away. Now, this will lead to an economic breakdown because, of course, the nation will have to pay for all the damages and equipment that will be used throughout the war. another reason that could lead to an economic breakdown is that a way that the government wants to get all the guns back is that they want to buy them off the people who had already bought them. Now there's way too many guns out there, and the nation will waste way too much money just to get guns back, and that will leave them bankrupt basically. Another reason that this could lead us to this nation to danger is that the people would be left defenseless. As you can see in the chart that's about to come out, you can see that 10% of the people get their guns from a retail store, meaning that only that part of the graph are the people who actually go to stores and go through the legal process of getting guns. They're the ones that get the background checks and all that stuff. As you can see here, 43.2% of the people get guns from off-street or underground market, meaning that they don't go through any process, any legal process. They can just go up to a person, give them cash, and they'll get their gun. Nobody asks them what they're gonna use it for, or they have mental problems, nothing. They get them just like that. So if the government does manage to take away our guns, they will leave that 10.1% defenseless. If one of the criminals decides to go into the house, they have nothing to protect themselves or their families. They would have to call the cops, and by the time the cops come, it might be too late. Now, having guns, like I had said before, was also meant to help protect the nation from an invasion. If we don't have guns, we would have to wait if there was an invasion, we would have to wait for the army to get to us. And that might be also too late. They might have killed a lot of people already. If we were to have guns, then we would have been able to protect other people and there would be less deaths. In conclusion, I have told you why I think that gun control is bad and how it's going to harm our nation. I told you how it is our right and how our rights could be affected if they take away our guns. I told you how our guns could be used for good and not for bad. And I told you how our nation would be affected if they do manage to take our guns away. So I hope that if it ever comes for you to vote whether you want gun control or not, you should vote that you don't want it, so you can help our nation. And if you have friends, tell them about what you just heard, because this is a big deal. Thank you. These are my notes. And this is my audience. Thank you.